Yep. Holla, 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 holla.
I try. Like I try to have some type of empathy for
Excuse me.
Tiffany Haddish's position.
Oh, Jesus.
But it's just hard.
You want to start there? Thanks, Larry.
I mean, I mean, we could have cut her out and put more Aziz in there. But then that'd have been fucked up.
But then I understand. I guess the it feels patronizing a little bit. Why does my brain always go there? But it feels patronizing in a real ass way. The play to women, and then the play to black women specifically. Tiffany's part in the Dave Chappelle Mark Twain shit. Uh-oh. We're still talking about. So this is the kind of cool shit that makes the show worthwhile, right? So this is why I love the show. So as we're getting ready to start the show, Dill texts me and he goes, "Bro, I was finishing the last few minutes of the 100th episode this morning while working out." He said, "And Lex almost killed me." He said, "I was literally in the middle of a bench press and dropped the weights on my chest because I was laughing so hard at Lex's sign off imitating us." You know how many times I got texted about that this week? Morgan hit me. Spesh was like, "Bro, the Lex edition is so tight because it's like, especially if you watch it, because it's like Jamie on the Rogan podcast. Like you're off camera completely." Oh man, let's do it. It's the Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I'm LG.
Yo.
Okay.
That is, nah.
Nah, you don't like that one. We're trying to get.
We'll try again.
Welcome back to another week. We're talking off mic about the Dave Chappelle Mark Twain thing, and we'll get there. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to everybody that sent an overwhelming amount of like congrats and salutes on our 100th episode. There was so many people that were like after the fact, like, "Yo, why I ain't get the memo to shout y'all out?" Like people that I didn't know were even aware of the show, let alone listen to it. And so it wasn't anything. It was just the people we engage with weekly about the show. It felt only right to celebrate with them. Those very, very select few. So that was great. And then another thing too was what everyone had to say. Because it was like, Lige was like, "Yo, I ain't never done 100 of nothing." And then everybody else was kind of the same thing. Lige is just funny in that way where he'll say it pretty direct and kind of dumb it down for it to have it make sense. But everybody else's sentiment was the same thing. I've never done that many of anything, especially under the notion that it's not generating no revenue. It ain't adding to the popularity, to fame. Y'all just doing it because you got a small niche base that tunes in every week, and y'all have committed to the show, each other, and the effort that it takes to do this weekly. So I think that to have, I don't know, maybe you guys have experienced that before. I think at times in my life I've experienced it, but hadn't been mature enough to appreciate what was being appreciated. That's funny. I wasn't mature enough to appreciate what was being appreciated, but people were bars. People appreciating or taking notice to your commitment. Just that, your commitment to figuring something out, to working out the kinks, week in and week out, like, and then not being afraid to fail. More importantly, because there's no blueprint on it. Like there are blueprints, and admittedly, for myself, I've gone above and beyond to take notes from all the shows that I love and figure out the do's and the don'ts and how to sort of find our voice. But I think why I was so grateful for that, because for me as an artist, the first thing I can remember was imitating something. Like I remember so vividly hearing certain rap songs and like you at least in your head, you get really good at doing the E40 cadence in the voice. You get really good at doing the Wayne flow. You know what I'm saying? You like when Han came out, I feel like everybody just was mimicking Juvenile. It's like it's just what happens, but past a certain threshold it touches you enough for you to want to imitate it, and then eventually you get to find your voice. And that's kind of what's gotten to happen with the show and sort of like live and like real time. So I'm hella geeked to be here with my guys, episode 101, 102. It'll read as 102 because of the we go thug motivation it out. What about y'all? Did y'all hear from a lot of people this past week as the 100th rolled out?
Yeah, man, our appreciation was rolling in, so definitely thank you for that. And it was, like you said, it was just good to hear everybody's words on just like what we've been doing, the conversations that we've been able to build from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got from it, man. I ain't got no long soliloquy for it, but I got like it's just cool just because I mean a lot of this stuff is built off of like, you know, African American men.
A very specific story.
Yes, but a very specific story.
Yeah.
Not keen to therapy. Not keen to having, you know, not knowing what therapy actually entails.
Yeah.
And what people will use that information to do, you know, like what can they do with the information that they pull from you? Because you always have to have a certain level of distance from folks in that type of way. So just being transparent and open to, you know, just the world in general is the most freeing thing you could possibly be and do, tell you the truth. So it's all within the same strand.
Yeah.
And then especially if you're not doing it for any level of fame or any level of fame, likes, love, stuff like that, and just do it out of just the strength of something that you are drawn to do, then, you know, I think it just has another level of, you know, power to it, I would say. But yeah, that's all I got.
What about you, Lex Bub?
First, let me just say, I said Indians, and that's politically not correct. So let me walk that back now.
Yeah, I knew that in the moment, but I was just letting Lex get it
Native Americans.
Wait, when did you say it? Just now?
Nah, it's last episode.
It was the last episode about the Native American shedding one tear. So, peace and love about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can just, I apologize.
Policing our own show. That's great.
You know, you got to do it now because it's going to come back in 30 years.
I hope
we're doing something else.
I hope it does. I don't. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I think ours are definitely gonna do that. Like our tapes. I mean, this is like a part of potting is that you have you know, all this content and information that's just out there. Bro,
we're just offering it up,
bro. Like all podcasts is that way. So like, I don't care. Like, eventually, if podcasts go to a whole other stratosphere, and it's like the biggest thing in the world. A lot of these motherfuckers that was just like, you know, just saying shit. Just you gonna have to
you have to live with that.
You gonna have to know how to talk in those moments. You know what I mean, and not take that shit personal because folks gonna come at you. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna be offended in some way. But go ahead, Lex.
And then the other thing was a couple people hit me up and they was like, "Hey, I'm kind of happy you got a mic now because you used to say stuff off camera and we didn't know what you were saying."
Yeah, exactly.
And now they know.
Yeah, no, that's that part. I think for me, just, you know, just being open to people's notes and suggestions, and it's like just applying it and then it working as well as it is. It's just dope. It's like an instant sort of gratification or nudges in the right direction. But to that whole point, we're talking about, you know, free form speech and art and freedom of speech and in that regard, First Amendment shit. Before we started the show, we were talking about Tiffany Haddish on the Dave Chappelle piece, and then that led to a whole patronizing thing to women or women of color, especially. The underlying basis of the Mark Twain, Dave being given the American Humor Award, for me, what I walked away from it was at least what I hope Dave was intending was how everybody sort of thought process and feelings and how they express, as long as it ain't hurt nobody, is unique. You know what I'm saying? And then especially if you subscribe to being an expressionist, and your intent ain't all the way trash, like you got to just work through those thoughts or feel like you can work through those thoughts without harming anyone, or being taken advantage of, or your expression being flipped to cause harm. Like it's a real delicate space to balance. And that's why I say I kind of relish that day if it happens where somebody tries to use something we said against us, because it's like the intent, and that's what I encourage all artists to consider, is that the intentions of what you're trying to say always seep through. I'll never forget when Kendrick dropped the Backseat Freestyle video, and everyone tried to typecast Dot as a conscious rapper, and it warmed my heart so much in the Backseat Freestyle video specifically, because you could tell that he was aware of that, and it was like, oh, I'm about to fully blow that out the water. And him getting killed by, it was Complex. It was a few publications that were like, oh, the one saving grace in hip hop is now crossing over to the status quo misogyny of the likes of Jay-Z and Tupac and all the others. And I was like, when you're listening to that song, like if you're listening to what he's saying, and if you watch the other imagery in that video, and that one scene where he's leaning up against the Continental and the girl is like full on twerking, it's a really beautiful statement in the midst of everything else that he's telling in that they're portraying in that video.
That's also hilarious coming from Complex. Like, I don't think that's even Complex's like stance on anything. Like how
Thank you.
Like they would be the ones that would be more for somebody. Like they would think that probably Backseat Freestyle has too many lines in it or too many bars in it, and it needs to be even more beat heavy and you know, more mumble to it and stuff like that. That's more Complex speed. So
But
that's a funny place to come
But the intent, again, the intentions were for me as a consumer and as a fan of TDE and everything that they go out of their way to paint. And a lot of young artists of color are going above and beyond to tell amazing stories. And I feel like that can be attributed to one person, and that's Dave Chappelle. Like, we are all Chappelle Show babies. And to see someone black and to express that free and to run the gamut and to somehow find humor in some of the most traumatic sort of experiences and nuances of storytelling. I thought the Netflix Mark Twain special was brilliant in capturing that, and something that I would encourage. We talked about it when just the YouTube clips were coming out, but now that the whole special is out, I still encourage everybody to watch the YouTube clips and watch that, because we were talking about that off mic. Like, Quiddy was like, Monty, you should watch it. I'm like, nah, I've seen it already. Like, nah, you ain't seen it. You ain't seen it, because the fact that you comparing the two, tell me you ain't seen it. And shout out my brother. He listens every week. Quiddy, I love you. And that's sort of my measure of like, nah, you personally need this experience. But in the speech, they have Tiffany, in the Netflix special at least, they have Tiffany Haddish open. And there's an element of patronizing and almost making her the butt of the joke that makes me uncomfortable whenever I see Tiffany. And that just may be something I'm dealing with, but every time I see her, it feels like they're laughing at her and not with her.
I think she plays it too.
No, but that's the other part too. Is like, I got to give her credit for being smart enough to realize that and going, well, we'll bet we'll all be in on a joke. Then while I get this boy bust his bag down, and I'm okay with that. The part
I think truth on that. My bad, but I think truth on that is just that I don't think she has more layers than what we would like to give her. You know what I mean? Like, we would love to give Tiffany more layers on her comedy, but I think she realized like what the I don't know if she has more layers to it, and then also she realized that she now has like kind of like the darling level of love from her white counterparts. So that now she can be this token black lady in these groups now, and like just have all and get access to a lot of these places with white folks that she didn't have before. And if you come from a place of being in a like being homeless and people not fucking with you, people not even listening to what the hell you were saying, you getting the regular I don't want to put it this way, but it is true. You're getting like the regular like black laugh, you would say, from your jokes, but it not doing any improvement to your actual career. But then crossing over and getting the love from the other side, and if you just got to play the token role from that position, from all that backstory that you have, then that kind of, I think that all works in together. But it started off with, I do not believe that there are other layers to attack. Like it's not a Chappelle, I can disappear for 12 years, go to Africa and get in tune with my soul again, and then re-enter it with the leg up on, at least I have an amazing keen sense of working a stand-up stage. Like I can always go back and do that shit. Don't matter where I'm at, I can do that no matter what. I can get back to the basics on that part. I don't really know what her basics are, and I hate to go in that far into her, because I rock with everything that has come her way.
It's funny because Raj is on. We've gotten into the habit. We've always done it when we recorded. Had stuff playing on silent, but we've gotten more intentional about the shit we've picked the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Like we did the weekend one, and I think I'm still recovering psychologically from watching weekend videos on silent.
We got the sickest videos.
I felt like I did a bunch of acid that day, because seeing his visuals on silent, like it was almost his whole discography too. Yeah. We watched an entire pod. But now just thinking about that every time, and Raj being on right now, I called Raj 2 nights ago because I found something on my hard drive that was the most hilarious shit in the world, and it spawned a conversation about control. Just because Raj is one of those funny people where you can start talking about the most ignorant shit and then it lead to something that's just really dialed in. And he was asked to do something that was just out of this world, and not only did he do it, he made it look hilarious, right? And in the moment, I remember watching him going, "Oh, he's just smarter than everybody." Like right. It's just, I can see this, I can tap into it, and be in control of.
Intellectuals will always be okay.
Exactly, and the part that I struggle with Tiffany. Is I have to. There's a part of me that absolutely has to operate on the side of she's in on the joke and just smarter than everyone to be at this point, right? Just because of the revere that the successful black men around her have. Not looking at the white men, for example. I'm looking at the black men. Like I know her and Kat have their weird tension, but the Daves and the Kevs, and Hove and B, like they, protecting her in a way and having access to that, like that shit don't feel like an accident. Because if that were the case, I feel like other people who have tried to occupy a similar space would. And I could be way off on that. I'm open to being off on that. I just, for the sake, yeah, I know you feel like I'm off. I know you feel
No, I rock with it. I just think that there's factors that go into play. Like, if depending on like whatever your preference is, but if Tiffany didn't look the way that she did, she wouldn't have the help that she does. Same thing I felt about the whole Meg Thee Stallion thing. If Meg didn't look the way that she did, then there wouldn't be the type of help that she would receive from Hove and B.
You mean selling sex, being pretty?
There's plenty more opportunities in that light than if she looked different. In my stance, I think there's
That's interesting. I'm not knocking it at all. I just don't.
I just think that's like, well, you can definitely hang out with our group
Because you look the part.
yeah.
Ah.
I mean, like, you know those groups where
Is that
like
wrong?
you have like the folks in your group, you know, like, and it's just like, all right, we going out, all the girls, we're going out to Vegas.
Is that
but
wrong?
it's gonna be tough to have, you know, get her in. So let's make sure.
Is that
let's keep
wait,
her, let's
wait,
see if
wait,
she can
wait.
stay back.
This nigga be stumbling on gyms.
Let's see if we can
gonna,
stay back.
We're not just gonna skim over it because it's such a thought process. But for the women out there, please write in and let us know that if that's a part of your decision making process. Because I sent you Davey and Poe the getting ready to go to the club video.
Right.
And
That's hella fun.
shout out to Rome and that whole
Dormtainment crew.
Yeah, that Dormtainment, the comedy trap house. I'm late to the party because they've been doing numbers for years, but
They've been doing that since college, bro.
Yeah.
They was doing hella shit.
But they do a sketch about niggas getting ready to go to the club and the variables that you have to consider when you go into the club. And I was laughing like because we have had those conversations verbatim. Oh, it's 40. Oh, nigga, and it's funny how the times change, right? It's dress code. Nigga, I got my shirt is cool. My pants maybe, but my shoes no. I got a hat on. It's bad. You know, all these things I have to go into it. For women, when they getting ready to go, it's like ugly cuz can't go. And I told my sister because we were talking because the guys were talking about the Vegas trip. But I was telling Nana and them, it was like the best time I've ever had in Vegas was when we was with them, because her whole group of partners was just finessing everything, and because we was with them, they let niggas live.
It depends on the location, bro. If you going to Vegas, you're bringing your top partners, and like it's not the people that are socially the best. Like we probably be fighting all day in our room, but nigga, when we go out, bro, we finessing the night, bro. Like that's how we living.
Do women live like that,
bro? We could FaceTime her from the crib and be like and get the social part together, but as far as like pulling up and staying in this room that we staying in before we go out to the clubs, bro, we gotta have the top group.
That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay.
I didn't say it was supposed to be okay. I said that's how it works.
You just said it's a thing.
Oh, you can't finesse when your whole group ain't together, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's gonna be another group that thought this out first, and it's gonna get so far ahead of you in that trip, and then you're gonna be the one like, I'm sorry, but like I don't think that. Okay, I probably shouldn't throw that one out.
No, you there now. You there.
I'm already on that ledge.
You on the ledge.
I'm already on that ledge. All right. I just don't think that when you go to places like Vegas, Miami, I'm just gonna leave it at those two. Let's do Vegas and Miami, maybe Houston. I don't think you have like, I would say, men can go to those locations, and if they fail at going into the club, we can battle this out on the reasons why we failed, but then we just gonna figure out something on like a
solution,
or like a strip club, or go to something else random.
A solution.
Try to pull up on something random. I don't know. We'll just
Waffle House at 3:00.
You know what I mean? Like we
something will turn into something.
Something will turn into something.
At every phase of the night, there's always a chance.
There's always an opportunity, but even if like you just ain't with the right group and you just failed that week, that weekend, guess what? We gonna get this shit together, because I'm not coming. Next time I come back out here, it's not gonna be with this exact same crew. You know what I mean? Like that's
gonna be some modifications.
Yeah, it's gonna be some modifications that take place. You know what I mean?
Hell, you're sick.
It's the truth.
Like I knew your brain was different, but the fact that your crew of who you travel with is based on like, oh, them niggas don't fuck around like I fuck around. Nah, that's good. Bro,
you was sitting here. You held me back the whole weekend, bro. I'm never gonna forget that. My name, like, you don't even have a chance to get back in to like help me out again. Like, nah, it's a wrap. Like, that's how I cut people off. But on the women's side though, I just don't believe that they even give that initial opportunity. Like, because like if there's a failure at getting in or a failure at the door, and there was a weak link in that chain,
Mark.
Bro, you're not able to take that because it's happening at the moment, bro. Like at the moment. Okay, well then shit. I wasn't the weak link, so therefore I'm taking my opportunity and I'm going in. You know how much that fucks up with the whole camaraderie at the place? is that you're not able to, like, you can't take away from. So if you got 8 people, right? You got 8 women, and you at the door finessing it, getting into the tables, whatever. But there's weak links in your chain. You have, say, out of the 8, you have 3 that just ain't working out. Do you know that those 3 are going to be outside that club? The 5 are going in, bro. Like, the 5 is happening. The 5 is happening. They lost the 3. They never saw the 3 again.
He's preaching right now. I can't stop him. He's on a roll.
Bro, like but you know how much that hurts though? Like you can't go through that too many times. So that's the reason why you pull up in the first place correctly. Because I don't want to have to cut you off at this door and us never be partners again, or you not be partners with whoever I came with and all that stuff like that. Like we have beef, and now you gotta take it to social media, and now you gotta get all your
What if a lot of the like women that funk with each other that knew each other at one point was behind the ugly duckling situation?
It might be, bro.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's possible.
Damn. Our world is sick, man.
It's completely sick.
This is sick.
I'm laughing because all this came from Tiffany Haddish.
I know, and that wasn't even my point. The point I was getting to a much larger point.
That was not the point.
So yeah, salute to Tiffany. She's killing it right now. But a couple things. Jason Bateman is a fucking legend. We need to protect him right now.
Okay.
Yep.
This nigga just produced 2 of the best seasons of television in the same calendar year. It's pretty fucking impressive. I don't know if anybody watched
He's a producer on Ozark?
He's producer and writer on Ozark.
Oh, that's dope.
And then he's producer, writer, and actor on...
And director. He directed the first 2 episodes.
And director on The Outsider.
Yep.
On HBO.
I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen The Outsider?
This is the one person that needs to see it.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's based off the Stephen King book,
Yeah.
The Outsiders.
Okay.
Yo, phenomenal. Like, it may be...
And that's in season...
It's just one. Just one season.
Yeah. I can check that out.
It may be 2 episodes too long. It's my only beef.
Yeah.
But as a storyteller, I appreciate...
On the back end or just in... like
on the back end. On the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back end. The back
Like
end.
towards that middle area.
But it's not fair to call them fillers because in the episodes that feel a little too long, there's some brilliant ass moments, so you can live with it, right?
Yeah. And on top of that, I feel like those episodes that are like that, they really help
tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Connect. Yeah. I guess that's the other thing too because I had that feeling, and then once it was over, appreciated the fact that they were aware that people were going to say these ran too long, but decided against it for the sake of telling a full, complete story. And that's not an easy decision to make when networks like HBO are involved, when that much budget is on the line, and you could have easily trimmed off the last 25 minutes of like 3 of those episodes and made them one, you know. But when you're doing a book, I feel like you got to do justice to the book, which is why books have been being told better as series instead of films.
Yeah.
But the point I was making is that one of the lead characters that doesn't get introduced until like episode 5 or some shit is a black woman, and
World War Z would have done way better as a series. Than a movie.
There's a few of those movies like that exist that have just been way better. But one of the leads that ends up dominating the series because she's brilliant. I don't know if she would have gotten that role a couple years ago. Was my only thought. I just had that thought because she bodies that shit. But she's a face. Like I've seen her before, but she's an unfamiliar face that gets to be a character that not even just a woman wouldn't have got. That shit would have been a white man for sure. That character was written for a white man. Had to be.
Nah, Stephen King said when they were deciding to make the show, he said one of my main things was that character would be black and would be a woman.
Wow.
Because in the books, she's black
and a woman.
And that's his first detective. There's 3 books with that same character.
That's dog.
And he was like, that's my first detective type character I ever wrote. in the genre that I write.
And but that's why that show comes off so brilliant, because they got their feet held to the fire on that. Like, yo, this won't get greenlit on the writer's behalf if y'all don't stick true to this. Hollywood wasn't always like that. And that shit jumps off the screen.
Especially HBO, yeah.
Yeah, that shit jumps off the screen the second episode of her appearance, where you're like, okay, it took us 3 episodes to even get her. She's here now, and she's making such an impact, and now the story is all about her. Holy fuck. It felt like the ultimate finesse, where because I watched that and the Dave Chappelle shit like the same day, damn near. I couldn't. It was a crazy sort of comparison to go. One feels like real fucking support, like somebody fought for this. The other one, I can't tell if she's a part of the joke or not. Granted, 2 different genres, 2 completely different forms of entertainment, but there's an underlying thing there where neither of them would have a space carved out for them today if it wasn't for the other.
Completely.
And so that made me go back to my feeling about Tiffany and go, damn, I appreciate her. Because it goes back to our conversation a few weeks ago where it's like, it's easy to make MC Hammer the butt of the joke in real time, but now that it's over, that nigga was the first rap superstar. And that was black. Like Vanilla Ice, Eminem, all them niggas got to get their Beastie Boys, they got to get their megastar shit off. MC Hammer's the first black megastar.
All right.
And niggas laugh at him, but he kicked the door down for a lot of niggas to get bags. And so that space where they both exist and both have equal fucking value, it's a crazy sort of thing to connect, but my brain went there. That was all.
The one random thing I was going to say about Tiffany Haddish and her comedy is I wonder if she had conversations with Kevin and Kevin was like, this is where you gonna make a lot of money. So stay in this lane. Because you know how Kevin could do other types of comedy if he really wanted to, but he knows that the bigger audience likes him for this. So he tends to cater more to that. So I just wondered if he ever had that conversation with her.
It feels like it. You're not the commitment you have to make to be a stand-up is an endless amount of road work that I don't know if Tiffany has the road work, but she definitely has she was getting up in LA a lot for years. But the road work feels like it creates a different beast. Have y'all watched Tom Segura's new stand-up special? Where are y'all on Tom Segura and that whole crew? Segura, Rogan, Bert, Ari Shaffir,
Bert, but not the rest of them.
So out of that whole crew, which they're all talented in their own regard, Tom is by far above and beyond every single one of them. And it's not even close.
Bert?
Huh?
Even Bert?
He would run, I feel like even Bert would admit that Tom would run circles around. Because when you watch them all get together on Joe's podcast, they roast everybody but Tom. Like, that's the one nigga they leave alone. And so for me,
let me see if I ever seen Bert.
Optically, when I'm looking at a crew, especially a hitters like that, when it's the one nigga y'all all kind of just tread lightly with when you poking fun at, oh, he must be that nigga. And then when you go special for special, when you watch Tom Segura, he looks like he's at home. Like, everybody else kind of look like Bert. Bert's growing on me. I think Bert's funny. Ari, I know some people didn't know of Ari Shaffir before the Kobe shit, and so people are going fuck Ari Shaffir on the pure Kobe shit. Prior to the Kobe shit, prior to the Aretha shit, I did think Ari was funny. I still do. That Kobe shit is just unforgivable for me personally. So I want to do justice by trying to separate the two when talking about bruh, because I do think he's funny.
Okay.
Joe, this is controversial because I know people love Joe. Joe's not that great of a stand-up to me, personally. Fuck, I can't believe I'm saying that publicly.
Rogan?
Yeah.
I don't take him as a comedian, but I guess he's
he's a comedian. Joe.
I don't know for any comedy. That's crazy.
Yeah. What are you about to say? You could tell me to edit this felt.
No. I was just gonna say, for me, it's just certain bits that Joe has, and I think I just relate to him, and that's why they be hella funny to me.
No. and that's the crazy part. Like Joe just talking, I could listen to that nigga talk all fucking day. And so his stand-ups I consume exactly the same as I do the pod. He is the perfect setup guy. Like host, that's the common thread. Joe plays the fuck out of that role. Cause he just provides a space and a platform for us to experience these dope ass people that we wouldn't experience if it wasn't for his genius. So still sounds like I'm shitting on him, but I'm not, and the people are gonna kill me for that. But if you're talking about that clique of people, Tom Segura is funnier than all of them. I feel like, but the it feels like a tribute to how much of being on the road, like road. Oh, Joey Diaz too. Forgot about Joe. Joey Diaz and Tom Segura, fucking hilarious. Okay. And Joey Diaz ain't for everybody either. That's the other part too. I think it's because especially in Tom's new piece, he has a similar approach on Dave's shit where it's all about intent. Like equal opportunity, I'm gonna roast your ass if you gay, if you black, if like, especially when Tom be going at black people. That's the funniest shit in the world, bro. Because it's like maybe it's not the same for y'all, but I know for me, when I'm trying to explain it, I struggle with my white partners that do the white guilt thing. They're like, I just don't know where I fit in this world. Like, shut the fuck up, bruh. Like roast back. Like, don't patronize. Because if you start patronizing, then I can't fuck with you. It's not real. If you gonna give it, back,
funny. I just don't know.
I just don't know where. But Tom is like, bro, what we doing? I'll roast all y'all right now. What's up? Like that energy, I fuck with for some reason.
I fuck with that energy too.
And I don't even know why I'm comparing the two, but all that shit makes sense. But back to the road work for Tiff, and I'm sure she lives on the road, but there feels like there's certain people that lock in with the art of comedy in a crazy ass way, in a different machine element sort of way, and I think you kind of figure that out as you're ascending and getting to the place and carving out your space in Hollywood, at least from a consumer standpoint. What I've watched Joe Rogan do, what I've watched Mark Maron do, they're not for everyone, but they have a particular fan that they like. Joe been doing his podcast for years, responding to emails, having an email list, and growing that brand. Like, we gonna go back on it. And I don't think we've ever seen anyone do with the brand what Joe Rogan has done. Like, it's impressive as shit.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, same thing. Like, just hey, there isn't particularly a space for me. I'm gonna carve it out. I'm gonna curate it myself, and over again, just chip away, just chip away, just chip away. And each time I double back to a city, that base is gonna be double what it was when I was here last year or last season. And do that every year until I'm in theaters, and then I'm in an arena from starting at the hole in the wall, but just being personable and constantly growing my brand. Like when you look at the early days of Joe's the Rogan podcast, those fucking remember those webcast mics you put on top of the desktop, the little balls you put on top of there, like just 3 of them in a room and just cutting back and forth, but it was cutting edge for real time. So it's easy to look back on it now and go, you know what I'm saying? But there's a genius there of self-awareness, I guess is what I'm saying. Joe's self-awareness separates him from anyone, from me. And so back to the Tiffany point, G. I don't know which one it is, but it feels like it's self-awareness. Like, hey, go be that and just live with being the butt of everybody's joke.
That makes sense. Top 5 funniest women, go.
This I know everybody's not going to agree. I think Lunel is hilarious. Like, I watch all her Vlad interviews, and her stand-ups are fucking to die for. Like, I genuinely think she's funny. People aren't going to agree. Sarah Silverman is up there for me. I enjoy. Y'all don't. Okay. Why? No, what? I feel like I'm missing something. Why is everybody quiet right now?
Nah, I enjoy her.
You're not a Silverman fan?
Huh?
You're not a Sarah Silverman fan?
I'm just gonna say, man, I'm sorry, but
Oh shit.
It's gonna take a long time to put that list together.
For who?
For top 5 funniest women.
For you, maybe.
For me, yes. Hell, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said go, because I want to see how fast y'all could throw these motherfuckers out here. Because it's gonna take me a minute.
Fuck.
I'm gonna have to go through. I'm gonna have to go through a whole you got to give me a paper with all the women that are comedians and have stand up.
But
for me to go do my own research to go figure out who is this top 5.
In fairness, how many female comics that haven't been shoved in your face do you watch?
That's what I mean. This is true.
But then
I would have to be like in stand up, like in the actual stand up arena, stand up rooms, like all that stuff like that to even know that list. So that's what I'm saying, is that it could just come down to, if we're comparing, if the comparisons on comedy is going to be a blank slate.
How the fuck did we get here, by the way, guys?
I know.
Just saying. Go ahead.
Just if it's going to be a blank slate, just an open forum for everyone to jump in, and we're going to judge everybody equally, then that is where the problem is going to lie. It's just not enough. Like, because it's too many. It's too, like, comedians, the freedom that you have to operate within to be a super funny comedian, unfortunately, I do not believe that we are far enough along as society to allow the space for women to then be as funny.
That's
bro.
not. But see that I completely disagree.
All right.
It's not. Fuck what's allowed.
I'm not talking. I'm saying though, but if you're talking and you're talking to a public, you can say fuck what's being allowed, but understand that there are still certain restrictions in place for gender specific.
That's Dave's whole point. Like there's always going to be restrictions. Can you make decisions and live with them? So to his point,
Dave's point is coming from we talked about this before, but it's coming from a male's perspective still. So the amount of freedom that you can talk with and have be a male saying that I'm gonna let my nuts hang at all times and just be talking, but that's still a certain amount of freedom that you have as a male.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege. Yeah.
And then for women, it's still a certain level of restrictions in what they say. So for me, I don't know. I might be missing a part of it. No. I really, really love what is the lady from San Francisco.
The Asian lady?
That did both her specials.
Wong.
Is it?
Yeah, Alice Wong or something like that.
Yeah.
Ali Wong.
Alice.
We should look this up because she's a killer.
I think it's Alice. I think it's Alice Wong. But
she's a killer.
Really love her stuff. Now she's only like the ones that I've loved have.
Yeah, Ali Wong. Ali Wong's a fucking killer, dude.
I only love the ones that. Well, I've only seen the ones that when she was pregnant, but still it covered a good amount of like it had something to say in the content, and unfortunately. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe y'all can enlighten me. But the comedians that I've heard from the women's side is overly sexualized content, which I understand why it is that way.
But women are overly sexualized, so it feels like
a play on it. Yeah,
it feels like a play on the joke. Like I know what y'all think, and I know where y'all at. So let me beat you there and one up you. That's why I love Lunel so much. But I'm glad you said Alex.
I get it. You just can't go that far with it. It's my thought process.
Oh, I see. It's limiting.
That's what I'm saying. There's restrictions on the actual art form of it. If you're not allowed to be as free as possible in your content.
Well, see, then that
if you have to use your you have to overly sexualize your content, then therefore you can only go so far with the content that you have.
I'm rolling. If it is extremely limiting. But that's where the brilliance and the privilege meet for Ali Wong. She's Asian or whatever, but she still takes it upon herself to kick shit for real. Melanie Camacho, that's who was another one. She's OG, but she's from that era with Cat and all them, but like real crowd work. And there's a new woman that was just on one of the comedy shows. I wish I could remember her name, but she's a mother of 4, black lady that her timing and her beats just jump. I don't know how seasoned she is or nothing, but I remember watching her because I was following Ali Sadiq, who's one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, he's funny. Man.
I was watching him compete on the comedian's Star Search thing or whatever that shit is, and he made it to the final 2 and lost. But my YouTube algorithm started showing me this young lady, and I'm gonna find her name, and she was a killer, like a killer. But to your point, having to navigate a delicate ass space that speaks so highly to privilege and to our collective conscious as a society too.
Yeah, you can say comedy is a very free art form.
It's not. It's not the same.
It might be one of the more male dominated industries. On like, yeah, they can be as free as the fuck they want to be.
Whitney,
but like,
Whitney Cummings is one of the, like, I have my issues with some of the shit she heard. This is gonna sound terrible. I don't have any issue what she's saying about the Bill Cosby situation. I just have an issue with her lack of awareness for her position as where she's speaking from a white woman and her commentary around it. But that don't have shit to do with how brilliant I think she is. The show, the Whitney Cummings show she had, I thought should have got another run just because it was something I watched. And she introduced me to Chris D'Elia. Like, all these motherfuckers I think are funny as shit. But Whitney, I wouldn't put her in the top 5, but her style, I fuck with her style a lot too. And there's hella other women that I'm not mentioning. Some more is in that place where hella over sexualized, but hers is intentional and like really smart, and she's aware of her space, and she's been doing this shit for 25 years. I feel like if we're 30, if like I've been hearing about some more most of my life, if not all of it.
Some more is back Def Comedy Jam,
killing a killer though.
She's way back there. Yeah,
that's crazy. We just had a whole deep dive about comedy based off protecting Jason Bateman, who is a fucking lifer too. That was a point. That was the point. The lifers in art, not niggas that be dipping their toe in the water. I'm talking lifers.
Yeah.
Bateman, commercial kid, Little House on the Prairie, nigga. Oh, so y'all gonna get quiet?
No, I was waiting for you to keep going.
Little House on the Prairie was that shit.
I've never seen it.
You never watched it?
You a real town nigga though. You wasn't watching no Little House on the Prairie. Nana, are you awake? No, she's asleep. Little House on the Prairie was our shit before school. And I hella remember Jason Bateman's character, but didn't really connect the dots and still starting to think
How old
about
was Jason Bateman at that time?
Jason Bateman couldn't have been no older than like 8. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And that might even be too, because he did Teen, like this nigga didn't graduate to do Teen Wolf. Like, didn't graduate high school so he could finish shooting Teen Wolf, bro. Like, but my point is about the lifer shit is now he's kind of having his run, but Arrested Development. Did you watch Arrested Development?
Yep.
That show is fucking crazy. Bruh's brain is just kind of out there, and
it is.
And you see it in like how brilliantly presented.
He was standing all over Hancock, man. I don't care what anybody say, bro.
Come on, bro. Like he just like, but it's
whenever he shows up, bro, it's just a good time.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be. I haven't seen it, and it's probably some shit that he's terrible in, but I ain't seen Jason Bateman in nothing bad. Even the movies that's bad.
It'd be a good time. I think it was, what was that? What was the one where they was like playing a game? I think it was
Game Night. It's called Game Night.
Game Night.
Yeah,
bro. This nigga, man. Hey, Jason Bateman. Yeah, he shows up. He shows up whenever I saw him, bro. He shows up, man. So good
bosses.
shit. Huh?
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses, bro.
Classic.
Yes.
Horrible. No, the staying with the HBO story, because Outsiders just blew my mind, but it could exist on an HBO. I get the freedom that they had to tell that story as long as they did, and HBO seems to have a real appreciation for series that I'm glad that Netflix is taking a page from. FX is in that space too, where they really, really appreciate the space of a series. Because I feel like in art you got to sacrifice a scene or two. That ain't really a sacrifice, depending on the audience. Like I said, the patience the patience that a book takes to try to translate that on film, it's got to be one of the hardest things to do. I can't think of in terms of expression. I can't think of anything that would be harder to take the patience of a book and translate it on fucking film when everybody's trying to get their shit off and everybody's going, oh, everybody's attention span is shrink. Yeah, but step out on the ledge and take a chance.
I mean, Quibi is coming out. People's attention spans are getting shorter, and they're going to shorten it for you.
You're going to shorten it for and that's fine. That's gonna exist for those people over there. But for some of us, nigga, outsider.
Yeah, no.
The Ozarks of the world, the shit that you got to commit to, even.
It's the theory in tribes, bro. Like, yes, it's gonna be like there's
it's gonna be a tribe of short attention span people.
There's different places, but there's plenty of different folks to produce something for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But folks be so caught up in the large scope of things, bro. You can actually train people to understand your shit.
Yeah, and then just have it be great. And so
that part.
And so what HBO, the early days of Oz and Taxi Cab Confessions and all that long form shit. That's just like that was cutting edge.
Bro, Oz is nuts if you look back at that.
Oz is crazy. The fact that Oz existed at one point
it's
is
crazy
nuts.
that Nas was even getting greenlit, bro.
And they're like, hey, go for it.
Just
They
let
might
that
shut
shit
us
go.
down, and then they go, okay, by the way, we're gonna throw him Soprano on the Wire too, like cutting edge shit. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Fast forward to present day, they found they bag with these series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, like when the business of the NCAA,
The newsroom was on there, right?
the newsroom.
Oh shit!
Gee, remember how
Hey, somebody bring the newsroom back.
they
bro.
can't
They shut that.
they
down.
can't bring the newsroom.
Hey man, that might be
Because the newsroom would have broke COVID before COVID got broke. Believe that shit.
That's real.
Believe
that's
that
real.
shit.
That's
the
real.
newsroom's one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah.
I say that definitively.
By far.
Gee,
By far.
that was our shit.
And it was wordy too. Like it was
dense as fuck.
It's dialogue heavy, and it's amazing.
It wasn't. That's what was so crazy about the newsroom is it wasn't hell bent on this over the top action. It was built on
Information.
but presented in such a brilliant way, bruh. But the business of the NCAA got on my radar probably freshman year of high school. Your freshman year of high school. It would just be fun to go watch Elle play. 8th grade, summer of 8th grade, going into 9th grade to be the fucking time of your life. And then you get to St. Mary's and he's like one of the highly touted kids in the area. And you get to this loaded fucking team they were loaded. Let's stop.
Nah, niggas is loaded.
No, it was loaded. But question, and answer it as honest as you can. In practice, your freshman year, how did some of those matchups go? I'm just curious, because I never attended your practice freshman year, but my bias would always lend me to, okay, L's a little too far down in this rotation. I feel like he's killing some of these niggas in practice.
Oh no. It was completely different back then. We were right before. This isn't even for college too. We were right before the wave of whoever is the best goes. Like whoever has the best performance, whether it's in practice or in a game, we just gonna let that shit ride, and then that's gonna equate to winning games eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you gotta let cats do that.
Yeah.
That was right there where it was still very heavy in system, and also we gotta teach we gotta teach these new people a lesson by not giving them everything. Yeah, we can't give you stuff out the gates because are you gonna appreciate it? And it's like, nigga, that's not your call.
Did you realize that earlier? Did it take you a minute to adjust to that?
Going into there, I didn't realize in any of those steps, bro. Like I can't even lie, because once again, bro, I'm a dude from 90th to Bancroft.
I didn't realize that till just now.
90th to Bancroft, bro. We don't take our time on anything, bro. Like it's not like nah, bro. I've been doing this for a long time. We play. So like if you can outplay me, then bro, we gonna keep playing until I can outplay you, bro. That's just how it goes.
So that was okay. I just had to ask that for me. That wasn't for. I always wanted to ask you that, but kind of forget the context to ask it in. Is like I remember the cachet you went to the school with, and then kind of being treated as if, nigga, we don't care. You still got to earn it. It made me go, holy. You know what it did, G? It made me appreciate my process because when I got to Pinot, it felt like them niggas just had it out for me. Like to the point that I was like, and you know me, like I can take a lot of shit. Like I can take being bagged on, and at the most I'll just shut down and not say nothing. Yeah. I got to the point where I had to say something. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like this feels like I'm being punked. Yeah. And I'll never forget. I got kicked out of a practice, and was still sick because it was like, fuck it, I'm going home, nigga. I'm not about to just sit here. And I'm getting ready to leave, and DeLuca comes like, hey, let me holler at you. Like, I know this part of the process is frustrating, but be worried when we stop getting on your ass. Mm-hmm. And I know why now, but then as a 14-year-old, as a 14-year-old that didn't have brothers, it was like surrounded by all women. I don't know why that resonated, but it resonated. Mm-hmm. It felt like the male energy. It reminded me of your dad a little bit, where it's like, nigga, fuck you crying for, you know? Right. And for whatever reason, that language made a lot of sense to me. Mm-hmm. And so I could say present day that it shaped a lot. But the rules of how them niggas was coaching then would not fly today. It just wouldn't fly.
Nah, you get fired, bro. Good time, man.
That was a little punchy punch, little break.
A little bit. A little something.
Back to the business of the NCAA.
Yeah.
So that became a thing else 9th grade year, the business of it. And how fast it went from...
You'd have thought I got prepared for that by the time I got to college. I went through that shit all over again, nigga, with my same ass from the block attitude.
But in absolute fairness to you, the type of business it was at your level, I don't think you can maneuver without handlers that are dedicated in almost a criminal enterprise type of way. And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that.
Oh no, I agree. So I think you gotta have somebody like kind of like a middleman for yourself.
Oh, so
entourage that are higher up that work for you. The
type of level L's finessing that, you need some niggas that's like, all right, bro, this is what we got. You won't worry about nothing but basketball. Mm-hmm. Fuck what the family got going on. Fuck school. You get into the league, and we're gonna invest every dollar to see to it that happens. That's right. And people think that that's just talking, or thought that was just talking until HBO produces The Scheme. Have y'all watched that shit? Mm-mm. It's all about the criminal enterprise of the NCAA. And when I tell you it's some of the most jaw-dropping, riveting TV you'll watch, it reminded me of the idea I had about AAU and the NCAA combined being the greatest soap opera that no one's producing. Yeah. No one's telling that story through and through. And you go, oh, you biased nigga because you bitter towards the system. No, that wasn't for me. But I had access to some niggas that were league for show. If the cards are different, if the business is set up different, where the Bay was at one point was just so fucking behind in the corruption that exists in every industry. So we have sound stages in here that only a particular group of people know about from a film industry standpoint. All right, bet, that's cool. We've always had an independent, thriving music scene from across genre. I'm talking jazz, funk, gospel, rap, R&B. We've always had that shit here. But guess what wasn't set up? The infrastructure of the criminal enterprise that is the music industry. It's not here. It wasn't. Empire's here now though, thriving. Might I add. Them niggas got a whole different mindset and approach to it though. Sports. The amount of pro athletes that come out of this motherfucker is jaw-dropping, but no one talks about it. And the amount of criminal enterprise that exists around the niggas that actually made it out, the niggas that got really, really close, but there was a chink in their criminal enterprise, niggas, why they didn't make it. Okay, we got to talk about this, but nobody's talking about it.
Point taken.
Now, this fucking shit, The Scheme comes on HBO. Nigga, I'm sitting in here like, nigga. Because it's told like some mob shit.
Yeah.
Because it is.
It is.
It always has
a lot
been.
of money involved, bro.
But the most, and everybody, I encourage everyone. It don't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you're into basketball. What matters is
it's business. It's the world.
Yes.
It's any level of business.
The business, the nuance that exists around the business, the racism that exists around the business, the being to evolve slavery and
like when Ern was asking if there was any keep it real, is there any black lawyers that are just as good as your cousin? And he was like, yes, of course, but like they also will not get into the same rooms as my cousin did. That's the reason why.
At all.
Bro, they could be great, but they can't fully take advantage of any of that greatness.
Anything, because there's a deterrent, and
there's a certain level for you. At some point, they're going to be like kiss the ring,
man,
and these have a hard time
kissing the ring,
finessing, not having to actually kiss the ring, but make it seem as if that is what was done.
But listen, have you watched The Scheme? You ain't even watched it. You ain't even watched it, and you just summed up the entire, like, when you watch it, it's gonna fuck you up because what you just said.
I didn't know that was on there.
Your synopsis just now, without seeing it, is verbatim. That story. Right. So I don't want to.
Sounds right up my alley. I definitely want to watch that.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I do want to discuss the business of the NCAA. The NCAA is a nonprofit, bro. Nonprofits don't pay taxes. Conferences, the SEC,
$1 billion.
the SEC, the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, my nigga, Pac-12. Do you know those are nonprofits that don't pay taxes on the revenue that they generate? Nigga, huh?
Big bucks. And they don't pay their labor.
Big bucks. And so you don't pay taxes and you don't pay labor. For the shit that generates the most money, you don't pay. Nigga, wait a minute. And
you just bow it, you just wrap it up and bow it together and give it off
it's a free education.
In the hoax that is education.
It's a free education. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, bro. Yeah. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I do encourage everyone that listens to the show to check out The Scheme on HBO. Salute to HBO for telling an excellent story. Salute to I don't want to say salute to bruh because he got a lot of niggas knocked for being silly. But his intentions were in the right place for sure. And he seems to be doing well. He's got a music venture now. The Chosen, they got a venture with Atlantic. So he pivoted very well. He's fine. So even salute to him, I'll say. Staying with music and getting off my binge watching that I've been doing because apparently I'm handling the quarantine terrible because niggas is working out, got recipes and meditating and all this shit, and I'm just watching TV.
Buddy, you keep us informed though, bro. Shit going on, bro.
I'm just watching TV. So what do we want to talk about the quarantine babies and everything that exists around the babies that are being made?
That's actually a funny one, bro.
Or you want to jump to the one of the last mega star the world will ever see?
Quarantine first.
Quarantine first. So the running joke is about how many babies are going to be made because motherfuckers are at home. How many babies are going to be made and how many divorces will be had? It's fucking brilliant. As a brilliant depiction of the world. There's gonna be a lot of babies made. There's gonna be a lot of people that are having babies that'll be divorced.
And a lot of domestic violence calls.
The domestic violence is through the roof. Have you seen that?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, no, that's not even a joke. Like the domestic violence reports in the last 3 weeks are significantly higher.
Yeah, I believe.
Because spouses are at home together. Money issues are for real. The kids getting on your nerves is for real. So, and domestic violence isn't just about husband, the wife, the husband. The kids count in the domestic shit disputes. And that's not funny. Not making a joke out of it. Just pointing out how strange all of this is for the entire world to try to navigate. The stressors that don't stop because they flip the light switch off on the world. That shit, the lights is on at the house for now.
Also, it's highlighting how much people rush. Like, you gotta realize.
Gee, don't do this to me right now. Don't. Huh? I can't handle this. Please, I don't do it. Don't do it.
You gotta understand, like people are always in a rush. So for them to slow you down, bro. Why are y'all going so stir crazy over them slowing you down? That's a benefit to yourself. Take it. Huh?
Not for everybody.
What?
Not for everybody.
No, I get that, but
you really my nigga, bro. He be coming in here kicking game and don't even know it.
It's not bad that you know what I mean. Like, yeah, you made a mistake. Yeah, this is now your spouse.
Don't be calling these people's spouses mistakes. Yeah, you made a mistake. It's crazy. Live with it. Look at what you did to yourself. You brought this on yourself. Oh, that's many, bro. You cannot call people's spouses mistakes. Gee, that's nuts.
My bad. Go ahead, man.
He said, "My bad. Go ahead.
My bad. Go. You got it. No, nigga, I don't want it now."
The worst of the baton passes, bro. Like, it's like, nigga, no, I don't want the baton now, but
you just call these people's spouses mistakes. I don't want nothing to do with this conversation because what?
Y'all done moved out to Antioch.
Oh shit!
Got you a nice picket fence around a bunch of other people that had to move out to Antioch. Y'all all came from the same location.
Ooh. Talk.
That's all I got. I don't want to go too far into that one. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, bro. My bad. That might be a little too specific for folks.
So we gonna keep going.
Go for it.
I got an alert.
What's up?
Shout out to Mama Tina, put me on, letting me know that some twins were born this week, and you guessed it.
Oh shit!
The parents named them Corona and COVID. I'm not mad at it. Sign of the times.
Remember the time.
They will remember forever, boy. Damn,
bro, what is happening to the world?
Why you do that to them kids? They didn't they didn't need that. They didn't
at
need
all.
To. That's messed up. But that's still hilarious though. Corona and what?
Corona and COVID.
And COVID?
Yeah. How have we all?
I'd rather be COVID.
Facts. I don't want to be Corona.
Yeah, I don't want to be Corona.
I'd rather be COVID for sure.
I'd be Corona.
Why?
I don't know.
You over COVID?
For me, yeah.
But Vid, what you want today, Vid? Cold. I don't know.
Corona been around though, man. Like
exactly. That's why I want to be.
You want to be Rona?
Rona. Couple of Ronas.
Nah, I'll be Vid.
I'd
even be Vid 19.
This nigga. Have
That's
you guys
turned up? You don't want to see Vid 19 out there.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Have you guys evolved?
That's when the shirt come off is Vid 19.
Have y'all evolved or adapted any new conspiracy theories?
Besides the one we already got?
Which one do we have?
Oh yeah, I got one. I'll take us down the conspiracy road. The belief that that this is coming, it's inevitable that it has to be in the States. It started off in China. It had made its way into Europe. It's now in the U.S. You knew beforehand. You did not stop it from coming in only because of the U.S.'s need to continuously put people in a dependent state. So I need to figure out a way to make sure that all the people do not have are sick enough, financially struggling, financially dependent, distracted, and weak, so that they cannot move themselves out of like this, this dependent lowered state. Because this ain't got nothing to do with people that are already breaded. Like, the motherfuckers is holed up, motherfuckers on the yachts, they in the mansions doing videos.
What'd you say? You said, bro, on the yacht talking about
telling people to stay home, bro. My nigga, you not even home. My man said from the yacht, bro, hey, I don't understand why y'all still outside. Stay home. All right, bro. You're the perfect person to tell me to stay home, bro. Hey, if I had a yacht, bro,
you got it.
I tell people to stay home too, bro.
You got it.
But yeah, that's my thing, is that I believe that it seeped through consciously, and if the stock market took a hit, great, because the stock market was doing good, people were doing better than they should have been doing. So we're not gonna tell them beforehand. We're gonna take our bread out. They gonna lose all their shit. They gonna become even more dependent. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be an issue, and we don't think that they will be strong enough as a unit to then recover from this in the way of becoming independent. You know what I mean? Like, some people there'll be certain minds that can, but the masses, if the independent ones were to tell the masses right now the way to come together and turn some shit around, the masses would
there's enough divide and conquer where that shit don't fly.
It'll be so toe up that there's no way they listen to that shit, bro. They ain't listen to none of the leaders on nothing. Yeah. Right now it's a fight between the masses and the people that they look up to.
Yeah.
If you not dancing, distracting me, my nigga, I don't want to hear a word you got to say.
Jesus
don't
Christ. You
hit me with none of this, like, all this positivity shit. I ain't trying to hear nothing positive from you. If you don't get on this camera and dance for me, or if you don't get on this camera and make a song for me, show me some songs you got, something. If you don't do none of this shit for me, bro, I don't want to hear nothing from you. And I just loved you a month ago. Wow. A little different. Wow. But yeah, it's possible. I'm going to listen to these politicians like everything that they say is gold. That's a difference.
And completely disregard the control factor. And I think that's we've done a really good job about refraining from the conspiracy talks, but I can't help it no more. Like, I'm boiling over because I already don't do well with feeling manipulated at all. I struggle with that shit mightily. So now to be here, to be watching it. Oh shit, we got some special guests.
Special guests in the building.
Come on, it's too late. No, y'all can go in my room if y'all don't want to come in here. Okay.
Or
what were we talking? No, just refraining from having those conversations like wholeheartedly. But now, like I said, struggling mightily with that feeling of being manipulated, like struggling with that shit for real.
Only because I'm just recognizing the amount of, it's almost sick outside, bro. Like, I understand there's an actual sickness outside, but it's actually sick, bro. Yeah. I cannot wrap my brain around how difficult some of this stuff is. Like, it's not difficult to, well, I understand not every household is the same, so I'm not telling, like, oh, it's not that difficult to stay in the house for 14 days. Yeah, it is difficult for certain people to stay in the house for 14 days. I get it. I understand. Yeah. Your situation isn't lined up to be in a house for 14 days without having any income coming in.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I get all that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, I just don't get people's level of FOMO. Not understanding.
Man.
Like that you would, if you are set up all right, how you cannot stay in the house for 14 days. Or how you cannot think about older folks when it comes to shopping and don't hit the stores the 1st through the 3rd because those are the days that what is it WIC is on the shelves or whatever. Like don't completely clear out the WIC products.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that people that need that stuff, that's when their income comes in, so that they can get all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like those are specific instructions. Why people have 10 cases of toilet paper. My nigga, what you about to build a teepee? I don't know. I don't know what your plan is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's a lot of videos. There's cats jumping over toilet paper. There's all kind of random things. There's just videos galore.
Yeah, but it's the way it's honestly the way things are set up. The divide and conquer mentality, being uniquely close for the first time in the nation's history, at sort of a collective conscious of what independence looks like through and through. And what an appreciation and a value for each community's dollar could do for everybody, right? And that was happening. Maybe not on a large scale, but at least the conversations were being had so that we were cognizant of it. So you saw a lot of people
That was coming around. Yeah,
it felt that way. That doesn't feel like a reach. It felt like a lot of people putting a point of emphasis on independence, ownership, but
which makes this thing so much more sense.
But in that space of independence, what you also need to protect the independence is a co-op of other independent thinkers and people who have ownership. So it doesn't have to be the same genre. It doesn't have to be the same enterprise. It's if you're in produce, and if I own a cleaners and then you own a gas station, we still need to have some sort of co-op where, all right, your gas station is going to house the inside of the market is going to house some of his produce, and then we're going to filter that business through and through, but be in it together. So now, when businesses are being depleted and wiped out everything, niggas can't keep their doors open. I don't know how many of y'all that have business accounts got the alert. I think everybody got the alert, but I keep getting it about the forgiveness loan for small businesses. It keeps getting shoved in my face. What does that look like for real? You know, I when I needed a loan, I couldn't get one for my business. You would give me one for a car that I can't afford, a house that I can't afford. But when I needed it for my business, that I had a model and a structure of how I was going to pay that back before that interest kicked in, you wouldn't give me that. Now you'll give it to me and even extend when the interest kicks in, because you know I ain't going to be able to pay that shit back because no one can afford to buy from well, that's not true. We probably should be going to our mom and pops and all that shit, but we still hitting the targets and everything because it makes more sense. But I personally have had the most success shopping at our local Mandela market and getting everything I needed, personally. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, you know this thing is built off of credit, so and especially in these times, bro. Like they know folks ain't got it, so they out here trying to put you in something where you owe in. Like nigga, we need you to always owe us somehow, some way. You are not allowed. Like that's how credit is set up in the first place, bro. Like you can't just you can't be out here and just get cash.
Yeah,
I mean, like you get cash, you get on somebody's radar, bro. Like no, they want you to put your credit together. Credit means you have to owe something, and in owing something, that means that you could never break away from us, bro. That's just simple facts. That's how it's built. Yeah. You know what I mean? So these are times where this is perfect time for the loans. Like, and the amount of loans that come in is crazy.
But how does the sort of criminal structure of white wealthy enterprise, and we talked about this the last 2 weeks, I felt like we talked about it, but how does the criminal structure of white and wealthy criminal enterprise continue to be romanticized in history? You think about it. A lot of the documentaries that are getting produced, like Tiger King is hilarious, but it's a white criminal enterprise that we're all laughing at and romanticizing in a way where a lot of foul shit took place on both the side of the people who clearly voted for Trump and our government, in order the resources and shit that were allocated to protect and to take some of these people down. Like
I think it's Killer Mike's the whole thing on the massa mentality, bro. Like, I think people, it's either that you underestimate them because of the way that they look, or that you simply just don't take it there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take it there with them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, but you can, like, for sure do all that with your own people. You know what I mean? Or you can definitely put your own people down. It's built in, you know what I mean? But I think it might come down to like the massa thing though. Like, regardless, it's just built into the psyche that, you know, that type of shit is funny and it's lighthearted, and we're not gonna look at the actual criminal part of it. Like, the criminal part of it is even hilarious. But there's no way that you can even get that. There's no way a person of color can even pull that off.
That's what I mean. It continues to be romanticized and then packaged in some film to go, oh, that was a great story. I don't want to keep watching those stories.
Well, that's why I didn't watch Harriet Tubman, bro. I'm sorry, man. You're not about to put that one in me, bro. Like, you know how long we was reading the Harriet Tubman story.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, cool, but we're not about to watch this movie about Harriet Tubman, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's not about to happen. And then on top of that, you're gonna make her into an Avenger, and
you got to stop calling Harriet an Avenger, bro.
bro, she was the original one, bro. She was right before Captain America. She was the half Avenger.
This nigga L is wild, bro. Wild.
Right before then, bro. So, like, yeah.
Right.
We know that story. We know the original Avenger story. Like, we ain't gotta watch that show.
We don't know the original story of the last megastar. What? So,
it's not fame. No doubt.
I don't know.
I don't even know what that's about.
I don't even know what
Watch
that's
your
about.
mouth.
I don't even know what that's about. I think Michael. I think Eddie. MJ. Those people that just cause pandemonium. You know? And how the access was limited, but it wasn't really. It was, but it wasn't. It just was a different time. Yeah. For the life of me, I keep thinking about what the world looks like with Michael Jackson having an Instagram account, or Eddie Murphy or Mike Tyson having Instagram accounts, like Tupac with Instagram, bro. What? Like, and not after.
You mean during their peaks?
Doing their run. What does that look like, right? And so Drake is and people can debate it. I just don't think it's debatable. He's in a class all by himself in terms of superstardom. Like, it's just him. Like, you can't go Drake and such. No. The next person you talk about is white when you talk about Drake and the type of celebrity that he has. So the world is in a pandemic. Everyone's at home. He does the rollout of his kid, and then he releases a video and a dance same week. Great rollout. Probably didn't cost him that much.
It looked like that video was shot on the phone.
Oh, yeah. It probably was.
Even better, because they gave him the bag to do the video.
Yeah.
So, and then at the same time, I could show off this estate that's like,
house.
Yeah, this is different.
And that's definitely an estate. That's a museum.
And then you made the point about the fireworks at the end. I was like, oh, this is the. L said it first. He's like, this is the most ultimate flex. I know, and it was crazy when you text that. I had just finished watching it, going, what did I just watch? Because you don't see him, but you know it's him, And then you
Which was the best way to introduce a dance if you're Drake?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't watch.
Completely
There's no way that the public could see your facial expressions while you do that
Yeah.
dance. You knew what you was doing.
It was brilliant.
It was important.
It was truly
It was a good
brilliant.
job.
But it got me to thinking, who's on that level? Because even there's some strange part of Wayne when Wayne talk. You know Wayne is from a different planet, and we were texting about it the other day.
Yeah,
when,
Wayne's not. I told you Wayne has not been here for a while.
So Wayne did his sneaker shopping with Complex with Joe Puma, and Wayne goes, "Yeah, man, this kind of trippy." And Joe's like, "What? Just seeing the stuff?" He's like, "Nah, man, I ain't been to a mall in like 15 years."
and then shout out his shopper, like, bro, like she brings
shouted out his stylist, and Joe Puma's going, Wait, you said what? He's like, nah, yeah, man, a mall. What? Yeah. He's like, this kind of trippy to see, but the way Wayne was looking around the store was amazing.
He was like, "This is how you people shop."
Bruh, he was dead ass serious. He's like, bruh, I ain't seen a mall, but I remember when he was on Drink Champs talking about the album, he was like, man, them songs is old, so I'm not really. He's like, I did my verse, I did my parts, they took it and put it together. I don't know. Like Wayne was promoting an album that he literally didn't know what the fuck it was about, but still managed to feel relatable on some level. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. This man ain't been to a mall in 15 years, but somehow, someway, I still connect to him. Hove is Hove. But when he slapped the phone, when he took that nigga's phone, I related to that.
Yeah.
You know, Wayne been standing on this for a long time, bro.
But still feels relatable.
No, for sure.
Like he doesn't feel like he's in another stratosphere. Kendrick, he's fucking like I throw it around, but bruh's not from here. He's different. He still feels relatable though. Cole feels relatable to me. There's no part of me that relates to Drake. Not even a little bit. Am I crazy?
No. I mean, for one, Drake is Canadian.
It's some Canadian niggas I fuck with though, and that I relate to.
But he's a Canadian nigga that was plopped in Houston, that ended up in Miami.
Ways of Memphis.
Bro, Ways of Memphis, bro. Like, he just made his way across all of the, like,
he feels manufactured.
Southern
Somebody
locations.
made him.
They did. They put him in the lab.
He feels like a lab rat to me. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they definitely they put that together in the lab. Like, they put bits and pieces into that person and said, you bet not do certain things until you are ready to do certain things. You know what I mean? And I think that and that's a benefit to Drake. Like, that's the beauty of him though, is that he took a lot of that direction to heart and got the blueprint before he was able to actually stumble into his own blueprint, which was, you know, there's a certain level of genius that goes in that too, because you have to have a certain level of, like, humility in the first place to allow that to be, like, for that to take its course. Because I don't know how many niggas can be, like, told what to do and do the exact thing and then start tripping up on the folks that originally told you how this was going to play out. You know what I mean? And start thinking that it's all about you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the part and that's the Canadian part of Drake, that he was able to take a lot of that instruction and then mold it into his own thing, and then not shit on the people that originally gave him the platform.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's a unique space, but
because they're from the States,
yeah,
would have been shit on that whole enterprise.
You think so?
For sure. Niggas ain't got no humility in the States. You think you can put a nigga together in the States, and then once they get to Drake's level,
they not turn on you.
They not about to turn on everybody.
I like that. That's a good point. That's a really good point. The fact that he is sort of assembled, like, we're gonna take a piece of this, piece of this, piece of this, piece of this, and he's gonna be unstoppable.
It actually happened, though.
He hasn't malfunctioned and rebelled against the people that made him.
Exactly.
Whereas if it would have happened here, there's a lack of, God damn it, ill.
And I think that's why so many people in the industry hate him, though. You know what I mean? Is that they're like, bro, why this nigga keeps ascending? Like, nah, this nigga needs to self-destruct. Like, not, we need to take that nigga down. He needs to self-destruct.
No. But
I bet he's not self-destructing. No, now we got to do something about it.
And then they try and it doesn't work.
And then that nigga just ascended higher, bro. Like, niggas hate that shit, bro. Like, it's that crabs in the barrel thing. Like, niggas hate that. Like, bro, if I can't get up there, this nigga right here definitely ain't about to get up there.
But what is your obsession and your fixation with, oh, we have to destroy him to the cost of you attempting, you failing, and then doubling back and going, okay, we're friends again, because you're impenetrable. Pause. Like I'm a jump out the window, attempt to take you down, and lose, and then go, all right, be my friend again, because I ain't got nothing. I don't have nothing.
It's the same exact thing as when niggas got to the bottom of like when Drake. Remember when Drake originally came out and like folks was like talk about he's so emo and so emotional and niggas tried to have all these jokes stuff like that until that nigga continued to be emo and continued to say shit that niggas would have on the inside.
Had all the chicks at the show though,
bro, and then have all that inside shit, like all the shit that you would think on the inside, but there's no way in the world you would let that shit out because I got a certain image to have and blah blah blah, right? But then after a while, he was like, oh, I can't even hate on this now because this nigga's still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if he's still here, I might as well get a feature from him now. And then my shit went up. I love this nigga now. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how the process happened for a lot of niggas. Like, the hoodest niggas started changing their whole thing and started just singing on their own shit. You know what I mean? Like, started singing and getting Drake to do the hook, and that's when hook. Bro, like when Jordan said, bro, this nigga should not still have a position. Shit should barely be breathing to tell motherfuckers that every song sounds like Drake featuring Drake. That shit should have been the end of Drake when it came to the rappers. Mm-hmm. If a rapper would have said that from the States, then it would have been a problem.
Yep.
But my nigga said that shit, and you can look at him and say that he was lying. So he was able to get that shit off.
Get it off.
And he was right.
Jesus. And speaking of images, staying with that theme.
Yeah.
New York is back to being New York again. And I don't mean that in a good way.
Enlighten us.
New York seems to have this unparalleled sort of ability to self-destruct.
Yeah, that's true.
God rest Pop Soul. But he was definitely manifesting something for their region once again. His death seemed to unify, at the very least, unify old New York in a way that it hadn't been done yet. And even in the midst of the Tekashi shit that was so disruptive because so many fractions of old gang shit was wrapped into that one kid that it brought up these old ass wounds. And so the whole time that case had been going on, niggas had been quiet, been low. And then out of nowhere, pending his release and then getting moved up because of the COVID shit, all the OG niggas are at each other's throats. And it's the point that I meant, like, when we had that discussion about New York being its own worst enemy, oh my gosh, niggas got so mad at me.
I bet.
And I'm just like, how is that not true? At the height of Dipset, at the height of Rockefeller, at the height of G Unit, at the height of Terror Squad, at the height of Rough Riders, at the height of fucking Murder Inc., there was tension between noticeable tension for the world to see. Atlanta has that same tension. LA has that same tension. The South has that same tension. Chicago has that same tension that exists. But somehow that shit stayed away from us. But you think about the powerhouses that New York had at one time that just couldn't get it together. So now things are quiet, things are cool. And now some of the most powerful niggas are at it again. That's going to only spill into like real street shit. Not nothing that's going to be smoothed over and we can piece it up and do a song together. Not Meek and Drake. And no. Somebody's going to die. A couple people are going to die. And a lot of people are going to go to jail, which has already happened. And to this day, the Schmurder shit makes me like I get emotional thinking about that shit because of like how those kids got taken advantage of and left for dead, and the people. Oh fuck, man. I want to understand so bad the thought process that goes into, oh man, this is terrible for the industry, this is terrible for the city, but we got to cover it because it's what the world is talking about. Hot 97, you're disgusting. Breakfast Club, you guys are disgusting. Complex, you guys are disgusting. That people are dying and doing serious time behind that Tekashi shit, and y'all keep covering it as if it's a positive, like y'all doing the world a service. It's not how that works. Stop giving that shit light, man. Because it's not helping. It's only making it worse. And then for nobody to help Bobby and Roddy is criminal. It's the same charge. Them niggas did 7 years, and they was trying to give that nigga double that. Literally, they were trying to give them double that, and Bobby goes, if it cuts my man's time down, I'll take the 7. And they had to serve all of that shit. And Tekashi comes home, is home.
Yeah.
And you guys are arguing with each other? That shit it's confusing. It's confusing from a fan standpoint and not having any, and they go, well, shut the fuck up because you don't know what you talk about. I point taken. But optically, you 40 and almost 50-year-old niggas arguing about some kids and some music and some internet shit, recording y'all faces in the phone, talking about who put hits on who. Y'all all look crazy. And no one's going to say it? That's some silly shit, man.
Yeah, no, I'm always confused by that, bro.
That's some silly shit. These are grown men we're talking about, bro.
Yeah, we was just having that conversation, actually. But the, like, being an OG in today's day, when your background is really some street shit, has to be a weird landscape for you.
Yeah.
Because somehow, some way, technology and the youth has taken away your fear factor that you used to live off of. And now you cater to that landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't be talking on your phone. Like, niggas done forgot. Like, bro, if you really about that, bro, you should never be on your phone.
I'll
Like,
beat your ass.
Like, do you,
I don't believe you.
bro? Like,
What
nigga,
is that?
bro? That has to be the emptiest threat I've ever heard in my life, bro. Like, whenever somebody is about to get into a fight, right?
Oh my
Best
God.
believe somebody will say, "I'll beat your ass."
I don't believe you.
My nigga.
I don't believe you.
Nigga.
I don't believe you.
Bro, you ain't gotta tell me you gonna beat my ass, bro. Just do it. I'm confused right now, my nigga. Why are we having a conversation still?
Niggas making empty promise. I'll beat your ass.
I'll beat your ass. You know it too. I'll beat your ass. Like, bro, no, that's all theater, bro. Like that. It's too much theater, bro.
Every World Star fight video that starts with the one guy saying "I'll beat your ass" always is the one that gets knocked out.
Completely.
But the nigga that gets slumped and is frozen in the air like this. The nigga that those make me feel bad, bro. When you get slept and you go frozen,
man. Because best believe, like, when somebody says "I'll beat your ass," you're also fixing your pants at the same time. My nigga, why is both your hands on your waistline?
that was the first thing your dad taught us. It's like, he's like, these new niggas with these fights pulling up their pants and fixing their shirt. He's like, because they just from an era where they don't talk at all. So the fact that somebody gets to talk and pull up their pants and square up is just too much.
Nuts.
It's too many steps. Like, that's not how that worked. Second brother try to square up, pull his pants up, he should be slept.
It's nuts.
I'll beat your ass.
I'll beat your ass, bro. It's empty, bro.
I'll beat your ass.
It's so empty. And then I was just thinking, I was like, what is some of the emptiest lines somebody could say during a fight? Like,
that's number one.
That's for sure number one.
That's number one.
There's some other ones though. Like, I'm just trying to think of like what other ones would be out there.
I might have to see Lex though, and start with "I'll beat your ass," because I feel away. You remember what you did?
Whatever.
You remember what you did? You know what you did. Lex calls me. He didn't text me. No. He did text me. That's what made it worse. That's what made it worse.
I know what he's talking about.
I'm still mad, bro. That shit made me mad. Lex goes, "Hey man, I'm because you've been fucking with me. I'm gonna fuck with you. Hey man, you know who Cool Cal is? He had a song called "In My Projects." Anyway, it's a documentary. I think you should watch. I'm reading a message. I'm like, he's fucking with me, right? But it's way too detailed for you to be fucking with me. I got so mad I had to call you. It's like, dog, don't ever disrespect me like that. Don't ever disrespect me. Cool Cal. I wish Tay might answer the phone. Let's see if I get Tay on the phone. But Cool Cal, when In My Projects came out and they played it on Rap City, I taped it just to be able to hear that song all the time. And then went right to BearShare and downloaded that shit. And it was my number one song for God knows how long. So don't disrespect me like that.
Which one was that? In My Project?
You know it.
That one?
Yeah.
That's Cool Cal?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know the artist name. I just know that song.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they know the song, but they don't know the artist.
Oh, you're on the podcast with No IGLG, Lex, and Monty Draper.
What's poppin'?
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
This would be Antea. How's everyone this Sunday?
Don't ever go into the business voice.
Don't ever switch up like that. You answer what it do, cut. What you want, cut? What we do? Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Tay.
What's going on?
So I need your backup real quick.
Okay.
Lex proceeded to ask me this week if I knew who Cool Cal was.
Who was?
Oh, don't you do it.
See?
Cool Cal.
Wait,
Who is Cool Cal, Tay?
Cool Cal. I don't know.
See?
Oh.
It's enough time in between.
Dang,
I
now I
agree.
really feel
I'm
bad.
with you,
because the one person that loved this song just as much, and maybe not more, was Tay. In My Projects, Tay. In My Projects.
That was cool.
Okay, I'm getting off the phone. You and L just ruined the whole thing. I just knew you was gonna know who it was.
And I know that song and I love it, but Cool Cal, the name is ringing a bell. I'm so sorry.
I look so crazy right now. I'm like, yeah, Tay gonna have my back. Tay got it. She said, I don't know who that is, fam.
I don't remember that name.
But L said the same thing. He's like, I know the song. I just don't remember the name.
Yeah, you can give me the song.
So that was, dang, what year was that?
2000?
Yeah, 2000.
2001.
2000?
Yeah.
That's why we wouldn't really know the rapper's name. We just knew the song.
Yeah. That was dance time. That was like people was dancing in barns.
I'm disappointed in Lex for asking me, but then my two cousins, I'm even more disappointed in.
You can't be disappointed in me, because
you know me better than that. But these two, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
Tay, we love you. We're gonna call you after, okay?
Okay, love y'all too.
Bye.
Love you guys.
but see, in my defense,
No, you got it now. You just won. You just won that shit.
nah,
That
I'm just saying, like, I knew you knew the song, but not many people knew the name of the artist. Whereas I had his album, and we could call Reg. I used to slap that shit all the time.
His album.
What other songs he had?
He had none of them did that.
They didn't.
Yeah.
But he had it was like a 10-song project.
Nah, it was.
There was more than that. There was
17 tracks.
But
Was he better than Petey Pablo?
Petey Pablo was nice. Don't get you.
Petey Pablo was nice.
Yeah, Petey Pablo was fun, and that album was crazy too.
Yeah.
That the one with North Carolina.
Yeah, the first project, right? Yeah,
the Raise Up that shit. What is that album called?
That shit was dope.
Damn, I can't think of what that album was called. But that album is surprising.
Who was Petey's group? Who was Petey
Didn't
under? What umbrella?
Why did I always associate him with Tim and Bubba Sparks in them?
Okay.
I think about that.
But maybe he wasn't though. I might have that wrong.
Petey Pablo actually did have bars though, and he could make songs.
Petey was snapping.
I don't know
what?
where
Petey
where
was
he went.
snapping.
That had to be some business shit, or it might just be
That's who needed a documentary.
It's probably just a nigga that just
Some street. He had a street deal.
Yeah.
But Cool Cal, Petey Pablo, because you brought him up.
Yep.
And Rich Boy.
Oh man.
Debut albums that are slept on, criminally slept on.
Damn.
Rich Boy's mixtape
For
run.
sure, didn't think Rich Boy could do that.
Bro.
Damn.
His mix.
Rich Boy had the coldest lineup too.
All right. but Rich Boy is Boosie before Boosie though.
Yeah.
Am I?
No.
No.
Because Bootsy was still there.
Is that same time?
Bootsy might have been before.
Might have been before. Okay. Yeah, he is. Boosie's significantly before Rich Boy. I'm tripping. I'm loaded. Not significantly though. It's close.
Yeah.
Is it?
Not that close.
With Boosie being ahead of Rich Boy, like coming
Yeah.
like the world. It's not close. Few years.
Yeah, I'll say a few years.
Damn. But Rich Boy's mixtape run is criminally slept on. But those debut albums,
Yeah.
Cuckoo Cat. I'm glad there's a documentary, but I finally did get to watch it because I saw it, and that's what it was too. I saw it and was like, yeah, it's on Amazon. No, and you got mad at me. He was like, oh, why you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
But I was thinking the same thing. No, nobody fuck with Cuckoo Cow the way I do. Like that. So I just didn't say nothing to nobody. And then Lex called me about watching the documentary. He was like, nigga, why you ain't say nothing?
So who should fight who? That's a question here.
But wait, what did you?
That'd be an issue.
Because it's critically acclaimed by modern standards for like the how Amazon and how the other streaming services show you what's highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the Cuckoo Cow documentary is highlighted on Amazon, it should tell you something. So that's what got my attention. It wasn't that there was a documentary, like that makes sense, but the fact that Amazon had it and was on their front page, like, yo, things you should probably watch. And I don't watch none of that type shit on Amazon ever. So the fact that it came up on my little shit told me something. What did you take away from it?
The thing that fucked me up was I was in the same boat. Like, what the fuck happened to him?
Yeah.
But then when everybody was talking about, like, he had this ongoing drug problem and he would disappear for weeks at a time. And the thing that fucked me up was that everybody just talked about how he fucked the money up. But at no point did none of them ever decide, like, oh, we try to get him help. We put him in a rehabilitation center.
Nope.
And then when he got out, he would fuck up. There was none of that.
Yeah.
It was just that he would disappear, he'd come back, and then we got back to working.
Yeah.
So they completely ignored
That he had a sickness.
his life
Yeah.
and his sickness. They were just only about the fact that this dude could spit, he could make records, but he has a drug problem. And then they put that all on him. Like, he fucked everything up.
Damn.
When nobody took accountability, like, we could have got him some type of help.
Damn. I mean, that shit, there should probably just be a doc on just the amount of niggas that got that story.
That's story.
Yeah.
Man, 'cause
Hook
that's gotta
Mitchell.
be a shitload of folks.
Yeah, Hook Mitchell. Some like exceptional people. Like to come to find out that Black Rob had a serious drug problem is crazy to me.
And Robin. He couldn't help.
Oh yeah.
He was like,
yeah, street nigga for real.
yeah, like he even said it. Like, I like to rob people. When you can just come out and say that, then that means you really like to rob people.
Yeah, nah, you really straight.
I think one of the harder stories to make peace with is the DMX story.
That's what I was just thinking
Yeah.
too. I was like, DMS probably got that same story.
Flesh of My Flesh. No, I'm sorry. Flesh of My Flesh is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's Dark and Hell is Hot.
It's dark and hell
As a
is hot.
debut, is like if we go back and go track for track, the fact that they put that together with what they report was going on in his life at that time, Jesus Christ.
Did you ever read the XXL where they broke down It's Dark and Hell is Hot? It was like the 10-year anniversary of the album.
Probably so. I don't remember it though.
Irv Gotti was talking about X's last verse on that Niggas Done Started
Niggas
shit.
done started some.
Yeah. He said
If you
the
don't
whole
know
time
me,
everybody else
yeah.
recorded, X was in the bathroom. Did not leave the bathroom. Then they finally was banging on the door like, hey, everybody else has laid their verse, it's your time. They said he spit the verse and then ran out the room and he said, I didn't see him for a month.
Jesus.
And then he came back and finally did all the rest of the filler to the
That's
verses.
that's what I'm saying. When you was telling me that Cuckoo Cow shit, I was thinking in my head, I was like, damn, that sounds like some X shit. Cause like I really believe that sometimes depending on like how strong the personality is, niggas don't know how to deal with that. Like you don't know how to go against somebody that is that strongly willed about something. Like X, the way X talked to people, it made them wilt. You know what I mean? Like,
I see. So you just saying kind of those. We're dumbing down the process of what that would be to help that person. You saying?
Yeah, that and then like the other folks are just like that's just too much to try to go. Even though that's the bag. You know what I mean? That's the breadwinner. You know what I mean? Like, back then it's just like, that's X. Or I'm pretty sure people was like, that's Cuckoo Cow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who they are. You know what I mean? So they're gonna dip off. Hopefully we see them again.
The sad thing about that though is even people who aren't the breadwinner or bringing in the bag, we do that with, right? People we
do it worse to those.
Yeah, we do. Like if they
we act as if we're gonna help the person that got the bag.
Jeez. All right, never mind. That's it.
L. You like 10 for 10 right now.
On
every part of the 3-point line, you just out here.
On fire.
All right, getting shots up, bro.
On fire.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, bro.
Jeez. Nah, but I thought that was fascinating.
And the white dude.
He wasn't a manager, but
what was he like? The money man, basically.
Yeah.
When he was like, in the music business, when artists disappear, it usually means they have a drug problem. But we just hope that the drug problem isn't going to stop the flow of money.
Yeah.
And that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that usually mean we already got what I need from him. And if they need to do anything on top of that, it's icing.
Jeez, man.
Because we got my nigga catalog. So we can still play that shit.
The catalogs and like reliving shit. They announced the NBA Hall of Fame this weekend, yesterday. First ballot, KG, Paul Pierce. Or I'm sorry, KG.
Hell of a class, man.
Yeah, hell of a class.
Yeah.
KG, Kobe, and
Tim Duncan,
first ballot. And just all weekend, because ain't nothing on, ESPN was just running the old highlights of them. But running the old
Lakers Boston.
Oh,
it was hard, man.
Gosh, man. Right after they announced the class, the first thing that they showed was the Kobe farewell game. And I called Dill, and Dill goes, yeah, Kayla was like 6 months, and I was sitting in this chair holding her because everybody was sleeping, didn't want to wake nobody up. But just those days of not forgetting where you were when you saw something, and kind of just stopping to go, damn, this is a moment, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And for us to collectively share that, like our Twitter, I was still on Twitter at the time. Twitter was going crazy during the farewell game, and the amount of celebrities that was in the house, and I don't know, man. It's just something so eerie, especially with him being gone now, to rewatch the farewell game, but to remember watching I want to say the farewell game is one of the last games that I watched the entire game with the commentary on, without distraction, because it's hard to watch because the commentary feels weird. Watching the whole Cavs Warrior series, especially with Warrior fans, was hard to do. So a lot of those games I didn't watch the whole games. And people that know me know I love game. Like I can still watch whole college basketball, but whole NBA games are hard to watch. Like the lows of them are like really low.
Yeah.
But that
shit, nigga, being at a NBA game and actually seeing the low in person, but there's nothing like it.
It depends on where you sit, because that whole courtside shit, like I hated on that for a long time, and then salute to B. Nigga, we went to go see Kings Rockets courtside. Watching James Harden and Russell Westbrook like that close, they're different.
Oh no,
like Russ would do this thing, like just to change the speed for point guard. Russ would just kind of lull somebody to sleep with just like 2 dribbles, like get the ball off the rim, 2 dribbles like he's gonna slow up, and then out of nowhere just hit a gear and be at the rim. And then James, like Scottie Pippen and all them talk that shit on TV about how they would guard James Harden. James Harden would cook them niggas for real.
Completely.
Like I'm convinced of that.
In today's rules, yes.
Today's rules, them rules, nigga. What he's doing to people with that step. Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. I don't know, but back to the Kobe farewell shit and the Hall of Fame weekend shit. Reliving a young KG's career.
They have to make James Harden go left, bro. Make him go left. I know that's his dominant hand, but make him go left, bro. That nigga drives on the left hand, bro.
All y'all
Stop letting him go to the right and do step backs, my nigga. Do you want a 3 or do you want a 2?
All y'all sound good. I'm telling you, seeing it that close up, G, it was just like, it was jaw dropping. I was just like, oh, this nigga's different. I got a whole new perspective.
I would never understand the NBA and allowing niggas to cook you from behind the 3-point line if that is the most important shot.
Fair, but I guess when I'm watching why the Cavs series was so hard to watch. Mm-hmm. The first one when Kyrie and Kevin Love both get hurt, Dellavedova almost had a heart attack denying Steph the ball, like literally had to go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. But did that and wasn't a threat on offense at all. Like it was like, hey, Delly, we know you're not going to score, but you're going to take him out of the game. And he did a really good fucking job those 2 games at Oracle, but that nigga went to the hospital that second game. Yeah. Nobody talks about that. Mm-hmm. But that's a really important piece because then you go, nigga, why Kyrie don't do that? Because he'll die? Right. Trying to do both. So the amount of effort, it's not like college or like high school where you could do a boxing 1. You can't do a boxing 1 in the league. You'll die. You'll literally die.
They start implementing that like when niggas would get hurt. So like if you just had 1 score on your team, then niggas was doing boxing 1s. Like the NBA was like, fuck it, bro. We gonna do this boxing 1. So they got James Harden. That's the only person on their team. Bet boxing 1. They only got Steph Curry this year before he got injured. Niggas was doing boxing 1 every game.
No, but see the mind fuck is forget the boxing 1, make him guard. That was the brilliance of the year the Cavs came back 3-1.
Oh, completely, yeah.
Is that they went fuck trying to take him out the game.
Oh, they found him every time down the floor.
Bruh, they were ISOing Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith if he got switched on him. And Brown would literally go, nope, go to work. Yeah. Don't give a fuck if you miss. Just get it up. Make him work every time.
That is who is doing really, really well. He's not even on a press run. My nigga's just talking.
JR?
Is
Iman
Shumpert, bro.
Oh, don't get me started.
Bro. That nigga's doing so well at just giving insight into him being in these locker rooms and on these floors with these dudes, bro. Like if you have an opportunity, look at one of Iman Shumpert's interviews, bro. That shit is hilarious, bro. Like him talking about Carmelo and the difference between having Carmelo as a teammate and LeBron as a teammate, stuff like that. It's just hella random ass things, but hella shit that's hilarious. But yeah, my bad.
No, you good. I was just ranting about the farewell game. We got it. Let's wrap up. But you had a couple shows coming. You wanted to highlight season 3 of Rick and Morty.
Yes. Season 3 Rick and Morty, May 3rd. I can't wait for that shit, bro. By far, bro, definitely the best cartoon I've ever seen. Yeah. But just one of the better shows too. Yeah. Like it's just
one of the better written shows.
One of the better written shows, exactly. Which one of the writers for Rick and Morty is doing something else. Like he's a writer on a movie coming out that I really, really like. I don't remember what it is. But yeah.
Can somebody is there a show like a sketch comedy show or just a show in general that exists in and around the writers' rooms of shows? Or I wouldn't want to say a writer's room of a film, but a writer's room of a show for sure. Like the politics of it.
Wasn't there like in the 90s, but I can't think of what it was.
Probably so. There's probably a really popular one that I'm not thinking of, but I personally don't remember it. But I would love to see that show.
That would be dope.
And then what's Black?
I did find out that This Is Us has, I think it's 3 white male writers and then 1 black woman.
That's it.
So the black woman is doing
everything.
Work in there.
So that's it.
She's the one that gets.
It's just not 4 people in that writers. Huh? There's more.
I'm pretty sure there's more, but I'm talking about the main ones. But I'm pretty sure like that. But she everything probably just has to pass through her part of the table.
She's the filter
before it gets out.
She's the filter.
Yeah.
What black and then Black as Fuck? What's that?
Oh, Black as Fuck is the creator of Blackish. Has a show that's coming out on Netflix. If you have a chance to watch the trailer for this shit, it
crazy.
looks hilarious,
That's what's
bro. The wife in the show is gonna be Regina. Not Regina.
Yeah, Regina. Is it Regina Hall or Regina King?
No, not Regina. My bad. Jones. Damn it. Let me find it now.
Who? Jones.
No, not Jones, man. My bad.
Leslie?
My bad. I'm doing
Leslie Jones?
terrible with all this stuff, man.
Not Leslie Jones. That's not you talking about, huh?
No. And I might be wrong on that one too. But my bad. Y'all can keep going. I wasn't prepared for us to be at that part already, but yeah.
Well, no. Get back to us. Let us know. But new albums, the new Conway and Alchemist, Lulu is absolutely insane.
Yes.
New Thundercat.
My bad,
Hallelujah.
Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah, Rashida Jones.
Oh,
But yeah.
I thought that, but because it's called Black as Fuck, but that's not fair because she's mixed.
Come on, man. But that's what the story is, though. Like, the story is going through them two being a couple and having children, and her not being black enough, and them being in a lot of these, like, you know, richer circles, and her trying to, like, overly push her black card in a lot of these circles or whatever. It's hella fucking funny, bro.
I can't wait to watch that thing.
Rashida
Jones is underrated too,
and it has hella cameos from different people, bro. The show looks hilarious, so I think that's gonna be something. It's April 17th, but it just looked like it was something that'll be, you know, because I really love the writing on Blackish.
Yeah.
So, if that's the creator of that one, then I'll give it a shot.
No, check that out. New Thundercat, new Conway and Alchemist. Jane Hancock has been dropping a song every night for all you R&B lovers and just innovative pushers. Jane's amazing.
She is.
She's an alien, man. Jane, we love you. So proud of you, and I'm on your live every day, and just like how you're doing the cover art, how she's doing the cover art, everything, which has been brilliant. So Jane, check out Jane Hancock. A lot of that stuff is being released on SoundCloud just as a means to get it out and keep us entertained and keep us inspired. New Rod Wave is out. I'm thoroughly impressed by that kid. He's the trap Bobby Brown to me. That's my name for him.
Okay.
We got Toxic Mike, Trap Bobby Brown.
Trap Bobby Brown.
Hey, we got it, man. Y'all should never forget these people.
Never forget them. Shout out to Shay. She suggested that we do a Meet the Break playlist. So let's work on that because we're pretty good about, hey, listen to this. That Jesse Reyes, G put it in a group chat last week.
I just talk about that.
I went on a walk and just got lost. Like, I got lost listening to that album. I was like, oh, I'm so far from home.
Bro, she's so next level, man.
Yeah.
The intro out the gates, bro. But I always like,
you made me this way, nigga.
Yes.
You brought this on
How
yourself.
true is that, bro? Like, I just love that. Like, I just love her being honest about that.
You
bro.
made me this monster. Yeah.
Like I always say, bro, be honest with me, man.
Yeah.
Be honest with me. I got so much respect for that. Like, we may not be together or whatever after that, but be honest with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got anything else, G? We can get out of here on that note, man. Did we miss anything?
Nah, that's it. Nope. Ain't got no shows, no nothing.
Nah.
Keep this.
Nah, man. This is it for a little bit. Lex, bro.
I finally gave in. I have a stationary bike coming to the house.
There you go.
I couldn't take it no more.
There you go.
I can only run in my parking lot so many times and run my steps so many times and run the steps of the lake so many times and run the lake so many times. For a nigga that don't want to be outside with folks like that,
Yeah.
bro, let me get this.
Let me get the bike.
One of those funny is I thought he was gonna say I gave in and watched the Tiger King.
I thought that's what was coming to. I didn't think he was giving into something that's good for you. He was like, all right, it'll make me feel worse about myself. I finally gave in and I ordered him a stationary bike. Nigga, wait, what?
What? You did something to improve your life? No.
My bad.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
My bad. What's up, Lex?
Nothing.
Shit, nothing.
Yeah, no. It's the show. I always look to the show. Look forward to the show, but now, especially the way the world is set up, everything is kind of just like, all right, I get to digest this with the fellas and find out how sick I am for real.
It was interesting to see that everybody like take it serious though. Like I feel like there was something that actually triggered everyone to start taking it a little bit more serious.
What do you think it was?
Huh?
What do you think it was?
I think just because, like I said initially, we're 1 week behind like Europe, like Italy, so it's just that much. It's just that much time.
I feel like we're a couple weeks behind Italy.
No, I mean like as response time, yes, but as far as like the actual virus itself was 1 week behind them. So everything that was happening out there was the exact same. U.S. was set up the exact same way for it to hit us the exact same way. So it was slow at first. It was, the amount of people that were infected, the amount of people that were dying, the number was so low that people was like, "Oh, this is some bullshit." And then like it started to like creep in, and folks is like,
hold on, this shit is real.
wait a minute. So what's the name got it, or what's the name is, or somebody gave that to their parent, stuff like that. So like that was just something that was interesting because you just start seeing like these outlets, like media outlets, and content creator people and all that stuff. That's just random stuff, and like people are now doing things remotely, and it was just like, damn, that was an interesting transition because it's on TV that way and all kind of shit.
Quick pivot. Yeah, everybody, the way they do First Take, the way they do the Skip and Shannon shit, all the shows have adopted either the FaceTime party chat or the Zoom calls. People are having parties with Zoom. Zoom stock is through the roof. So salute to you niggas who had stock in Zoom. You're gonna do well. Everybody going live, T-Pain and them, like, that was that. So Scott Storch and Manny went this week, and I was looking forward to that. But that one was hard to watch because you start to see the tears. Manny versus Scott Storch wasn't a good matchup because of how many records Scott has sold in terms of him having any placement on the beat. But the nuance of those beats is like Scott wasn't making them shits. He was playing on some of them, but he wasn't making them for real. Manny was making all his beats from scratch and was playing like do you know that he played in like the second to like the third to last round, Manny played 400 Degrees. And people were in the chat going, "What is this shit?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Yeah. There's a whole like, but it also made me really happy about the specifics of black music that touches the street like that. Like that.
400 Degrees.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Manny's battle for me was over when he played something off of Chopper City in the Ghetto, and I was like, "Oh, this is over." This is. But I was looking at the chat and I was in the minority of like Manny's killing Scott because Scott he played Candy Shop and everybody lost their mind.
And see, my thing
and I was like, wait, what?
I felt Manny when he was like, "This is supposed to be a beat battle. Why you playing this soft ass shit?"
Yeah, exactly.
Because Manny's whole mind frame was
going
I'm
hard.
playing black.
Yeah, the battles didn't seem like they had like there was much structure, but that's cool though because that's kind of where the
internet, the world is.
Where the internet doesn't have any structure, so that was a cool part about it. What I liked from it, I wasn't so tuned into any of these like battles. Unfortunately, like I didn't see them when they actually happened or went back to many of them actually, but I did like that. At least like I went titles so like the like they were coming up as playlists on there that I could just grab the song off of that. Yeah. So that was good. Yeah. Which also goes back to Drake being ahead of the damn curve on the damn playlist shit. But like but I thought that was cool because a lot of stuff like what you was about to say with the Lil Jon and T-Pain, it was just crazy. Like I know that was very important for T-Pain to me. Because T-Pain is somebody that has been so disrespected on the catalog that he has, just off the simple fact that Jay-Z put out that song about autotune. He just didn't recover well from that. And also with the whole alcohol thing, there was a lot of things
you're right, but I think that's more self-inflicted than it is.
Completely. That's what I'm saying. Like, and also with the whole alcohol thing, like he just the focus just wasn't there. So something that was gonna deter that ascension in that way, he just wasn't prepared and he wasn't stable enough with the alcoholism that he was dealing with to even combat, that type of stuff. Because that should have been easy to combat the Jay-Z thing because it wasn't specific to him; it was specific to other people.
Everybody that bit the wave.
Yeah, so it was, you know what I mean? So he should have been just fine in that space, but he wasn't, you know what I mean? But you do forget that, we don't forget, but like people can't forget that T-Pain is that, when it comes to some of this songs, bro.
But how easily niggas forget who paved the way and who opened the door for it. Like, it don't matter how you feel about it. There's not a debate. There's not a debate for what T-Pain did. There's not a debate for what Ye did. The sound completely shifted and is dependent upon two people significantly of what is allowed today. Travis is born because, like, Travis is, if Payne and Ye were one person that just happened to be from a real specific place, it's Travis Scott. And Travis Scott's just like, oh, and then he's a internet baby whose creativity and what you can be a fan of doesn't have any limits at all. All right, bet. I'm a machine now. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Drake feeling manufactured and having that Canadian sort of partition. Travis don't have that shit, and that's why it works. And it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So all of these have been great reminders. But it also is a window into the living rooms and the homes and the thinking and how certain decisions get made and what people are into. Like, I got some closure from some of those live chats and going, oh, y'all just wasn't outside for real. I got it. All right, cool. Then I'm not about to argue back and forth with you internet trolls. If y'all can literally sit here and argue Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh, there's no argument. Manny washes that nigga. True. It's not even close. But there was a debate, and then there's a world that exists where Scott Storch is significantly better because of how many number ones he had. And I was watching that shit in the chat, and I was like, oh, I'm done with this. Like, I left. I didn't even watch the end of it because I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then the same thing with watching these old New York niggas get in their phone and essentially dry snitch on the world based on some kid, like the whole Young Chop and Trav and all that shit that's going on right now. Bro, it's giving me so much closer about people that I've dealt with based on their principles and their morals and shit. I went, oh, this ain't about, like, because some shit happened this week that I took so personal, bro, and I was like, oh, this don't have nothing to do with me. But I got closure based on watching them niggas on the internet arguing to their phone. It's weird. I know, it's strange, but it helped.
No, that's real.
That makes sense.
That's real. Like, this is the time. That's what I was saying when it came to the whole Corona thing, is that this is really going to enhance whatever you have on the inside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hide. You know what I mean? Even though you can't go outside, you cannot hide. Like, this is a different time. Folks want to be. It's outlining how much people have caught the attention bug and can't take the time for themselves, or can't stop being in other people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, you get a sense of that. You get that people just, like, they're not doing it from a genuine place. They're doing it from, nigga, like an itch place. Like, it's like a scratch, bro. Like, I gotta get this stuff out there, or else they gonna forget about me, or they not gonna know me no more. And, like, you know, a lot of people's businesses are built off of this. You know what I mean? Like, they're built off of people constantly tuning into them. Yeah. So it's interesting because you start seeing it. Like, I go back to the folks that got all the street background. Yeah, you start seeing that, you know, they got the bug too. And this entire time, you might have gotten lucky. Yeah, that you didn't have this sooner. Like, there wasn't an outlet like this sooner, because you probably wouldn't have damn near any of the respect that you started off with. It's highly possible. But, you know, that's not to anybody specifically. That's just whoever felt that was to them. To them.
My niggas. I appreciate y'all, man.
Can I say one quick thing?
Go for it, man.
To everybody out there throwing dirt on Manny's name, there's real problems here. Because I'm going to say this now. How many Scott songs do you still hear just playing in the club?
No, nobody wants to hear that shit.
Manny's songs
Still play.
no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter
I
how
don't
old.
want to hear shit Scott Storch played on. Like he was playing those songs back right. And I was like, I don't want to hear none of this shit.
No, you don't want to hear that shit now.
And Manny, if 400 Degrees came on,
Nigga, if Project Bitch come on.
man. But I'm telling you.
Anything from the Big Timers album,
Bruh,
anything from
everybody
anybody
gets a roll
in that
on?
group's catalog.
Manny made it to where Birdman was palatable. That's all I need to know in somebody's discography.
Like I said, that's why I was like, man, when I seen all the disrespect, I was like, you guys are not getting what this man did.
Yeah.
He was by himself on a whole label.
Machine.
That's it.
He was the machine behind the machine.
Protect Manny Fresh, man. Protect Manny Fresh. Protect Jason Bateman, and Ali Wong. That's a random ass group.
You don't want
of
to
people.
protect Drake?
And T-Pain and Little John.
Or you think Drake already protected?
Give or take. Drake is protected for sure. But particularly Jason Bateman, Ali Wong, and Manny Fresh. They're just different.
Yeah.
Man, appreciate y'all. It's been another episode of Meet the Brave, and we'll see y'all next week.
Love.
Huh?